Hello and welcome back to Gapeys Grub. Today we're in the kitchen and we're going to be making one of my favorite fermented condiments that I've been making every year. And I've been wanting to make this video for a while and I just haven't gotten around to it until now. I've already made a batch of this earlier this year and I'm about to make another batch so I could show you how to make it. This is a cucumber pepper relish and you can change up the ingredients as much as you like, use a little bit more, use a little bit less, depending on what your tastes are. And every year my batch is a little bit different. I've got different pepper varieties that I grow and different cucumbers that I grow. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the general idea of how to make it and the ingredients that I use so you can make your own. So some of our favorite ways to use this relish is as a salad topper or in sandwiches, but it's also great on hamburgers and hot dogs. It makes it a lot easier to have all of your ingredients pre-chopped, so all you have to do is put them in the bowl, and we're going to use a scale to weigh our ingredients because that's going to tell us how much salt we need to add to the mixture. We've got our 2 cucumbers, our green pepper. Now you can definitely use all red peppers or all white peppers if you want. Here's our hot red pepper, celery. I mentioned I like using ingredients from the garden, but the vols and the cold temperatures have taken out my celery. So I did buy the celery at the grocery store. Just make sure you use organic ingredients if you buy your produce and wash them very good. Half an onion, 1 garlic clove. We've got 1/2 tablespoon of chia seeds. That's going to help wick up some of that excess moisture from the cucumbers. 1/2 tablespoon of celery seeds and 1/2 tablespoon of turmeric. A couple tablespoons of raw honey. We're going to check the weight of our ingredients and we're at 538 grams. So all we need to do is take a calculator and multiply 538 times 0.025, which is 2.5%. So we need 13.45 grams of salt. So I'm using a Diamond Crystal kosher salt. So we're going to go ahead and zero that out and we're going to go up to 14, we'll go with 14 grams. Now we're just going to give that a stir. Okay, now we're going to pack that into a mason jar. I'm using a pint jar, so we'll see how much we can fit in here. Actually, it's better if you use a funnel. There we go. Now we won't make such a mess. You want to pack those ingredients down as much as you can. So we need to leave a little bit of headspace on the top. Now this is going to be a quick ferment, only about 2 weeks. So we don't really need to use a weight because it should be short enough that no mold will come out of this. And now we're going to add our fermentation lid. So these are the ones that I like to use here that have the airlock with water in it. So that seems to work the best for keeping air out of your ferment. Now we do have a little bit left over. You can either fill up another jar or you can just stick that in the fridge and eat it within the next few days. But once it's fermented for a few weeks, you should be able to store that in the refrigerator for several months without it going bad. So we ended up having just enough left over to fill a 1/2 pint jar. So we've got 1.5 pints here with airlocks with water in them about halfway up. You can find these fermentation lids in both the wide mouth size as well as the regular mouth. So I've got some of each, so that really helps a lot when I have some leftovers because 1/2 pints I don't think come in the wide mouth. So we're going to go ahead and set these over in the fermentation station and they're going to ferment for a couple of weeks before we add them into the fridge. Now another thing I like about these type of fermentation airlocks is you can tell when the fermentation has started because the little insert here will start floating. So if you don't see your insert floating within the first couple of days, your fermentation may not be working. So that is just a nice little benefit to using these type. I'll put a link to the fermentation lids in the description of the video so you can get some if you don't already have some. I thought I'd show you the previous batch that I made. So I used the same recipe except I doubled it, and I also used all ripe peppers in this one, so no green peppers like I did in the one I showed you. So I think it tastes probably better with the all ripe peppers, but if you don't have ripe peppers or have a lot of green peppers, feel free to alter it to whatever you have available. So I let this ferment for, I think it was around 2 weeks. Our house gets really cold this time of year, so the fermentations take a little bit longer. If your house is fairly warm, like in the 60s and 70s, then you may not need to ferment it as long. But this went for 2 weeks, and it's the perfect texture. All right, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.